Once again, we're on location with Craftwork Design. James, give us an overview here of what the project entails today.
Major facelift here on the exterior. What we're doing is we're replacing, actually going over the existing, what we call T111 hardboard siding that's in very bad shape, which you'll see some shots of here in a moment. And we're replacing, going over the top of that with an insulation and then a high quality vinyl siding on top of that. And then on the eaves and overhangs, we're doing a vinyl soffit underneath. And then we're wrapping the fascia board with an aluminum PVC trim coil to protect it. And then on top of that, when we're done, we'll do our gutters, fresh gutters on top of that.
Well, as you can see, I don't know if you had any shots up there, but it looked pretty bad. It was masonite and it was failing kind of bad. And we figured rather than spend a few $1,000s on getting it painted and then have to redo it after a few years, probably might be better just to redo the siding with a more robust material than masonite. So we went with vinyl siding and replacement rather than painting the kind of bad looking masonite up there. When we first moved in, we did some internal painting or inside painting, and that even wasn't that very, wasn't very fun. I couldn't even imagine trying to paint the outside, so we were gonna pay, a decent amount of money to have the outside redone. I figured better just do it to where we don't have to redo it again in a few years. So yeah, looking forward to the low maintenance of the vinyl siding.
First we put up our insulation. These come in way larger sheets than this, as you'll see here in a moment. But it's got a high R value, reflective insulation. And this one happens to be 1/4 inch, but we go up to 1/2 inch with insulation. We go right over the existing T111 siding that's in bad shape. Next we run our siding panel, which this particular panel is a nice thick panel, solid vinyl all the way through. It's got a nice wood grain. This one happens to be what we call a Dutch lap double 4.5 inch exposure. And the way it works is we start with a steel starter strip at the bottom of the home, and that's attached to the bottom of the home. This attaches to the steel starter strip, and then we nail our siding up, and we put our nails right in these nailing slots here. And what's important is that we don't pin the nails all the way down, otherwise the material can't expand and contract, and we have a problem with what we call oil canning, where it buckles up. And so there's a lot of things when siding's being installed that are important to make sure that you do to create a quality siding job and no maintenance down the road. And that's the whole key, is no maintenance on this down the road. So because maintenance is important, and the whole purpose of vinyl siding or any type of siding is to avoid any more painting or maintenance, we do a lot of things to make sure that we don't have issues. So the way the siding works is we start down here at the bottom on the steel starter strip, and this material actually gets attached right here like so, okay? The next panel attaches, we nail here, the next panel attaches here, 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 and as we end up to the top, we end up having to cut the panel right here or wherever it falls, so we don't have anything to attach to. Well, a lot of guys, when we get to that point, this is called a ripper panel. This is the panel that's cut when we get to the top. A lot of guys will just take caulking and put it in here and pop it up, and that holds for about, sometimes up to a year. But eventually, as the material expands and contracts, we have an issue with this popping out and coming loose and falling on the ground, or just slapping against the house. So what we do is we use these tabs, and what these tabs do is they basically come up underneath here, and then we nail this tab to the house, and this pulls it in nice and tight, and so the ripper panel never will drop back down, and we don't have maintenance issues at all. And so a few little things that we do that make the job really nice.
Well, we contacted several contractors, probably 6, and only about 3 of them returned our calls to begin with, so that narrowed it down. And then James seemed like the best and most professional, and he also had a really good price compared to the other 2 that actually did get back to us. But yeah, he seemed like a pretty good project manager, juggling the 3 different outfits that we had here: gutters, siding, and windows. So he just took care of all that. He was our main point of contact for everything and made it pretty easy.
So what we've got here is, this is a galvanized gutter. It's just a steel gutter. This is outdated. This is a downspout. But what we're doing on this home is we're actually replacing the existing steel gutters, which can, they're not seamless, so they can leak wherever there's seams. And then also they're susceptible to rust, so they can rust. And there's a lot of corrosion. So what we'll put up is a seamless aluminum, which aluminum does not rust, aluminum gutters and downspouts all the way throughout the house. They'll match the fascia, which is this product. What we do with this is this comes in rolls of 50 feet, and we actually put it in what's called a break, and we bend it like so. And this fits right over the fascia board, which is behind the gutter. And so what's nice about that is once this goes up behind the gutter and under the drip edge of the roof, this gets screwed in the bottom, and then our vinyl soffit panel up underneath here, which you can probably see above the siding. Once that's installed, what you've got is a completely protected home that never needs paint ever again.
Yeah, I'd recommend James and his team. I'd say vinyl's a good way to go if you're looking to save costs, and in certain situations you don't have to tear off the siding in your house. James will help you make that decision whether or not to remove the original siding and put new siding on, or you can just put the vinyl on over it. But he has been pretty informative onto helping us make decisions like that. And